to you from Garden World out in Mildersdrift. Welcome to the Art Bulletin and thank you very much for staying with us. Legendary theatre maker and musician David Kramer is hard at work putting together his adaptation of Willie Russell's Blood Brothers. The musical will run at the Theatre on the Bay and will feature music very relevant to Cape Town's community.
It's about nature versus nurture. The story really kind of asks the question, what would happen if you were born into different circumstances? So, you know, you're born into poverty and your chances are limited. You're born into a privileged household and you perhaps do much better. So that idea of twins, you know, being biologically the same but growing up in very different parts of the city, you know, gives you a different outcome. Well, Willie Russell speaks to the ordinary man in the street. He really writes amazing female characters. I think that's what's significant about Willie, is that he just speaks directly to the audience's heart.
SA's jazz pianist Carl Shepard will wow French audiences with sounds from his Camisa project at the Festival d'Automne à Paris later this month. The pianist was commissioned by the Autumn Festival to piece together Camisa in celebration of the SA season in France. According to Shepard, Camisa, meaning a place of sweet waters, brings together the sounds and cultures of Cape Town by incorporating the Xhosa, Afrikaans and English languages. Shepard has worked with Buddy Wells on tenor saxophone, Claude Cousins on Guma drums and percussions, and the voices of Bulelani Madondile, Portia Shwana, Busisu Ngejane and Xolisile Yali for this ensemble. Last night they performed at the UCT's SA College of Music in Rondebosch. The Camisa ensemble now heads for Europe for the Festival d'Automne à Paris performances on the 25th and the 27th of this month. The producers of Footprints of a Dancer describe it as a production inspired by our roots and flamboyant culture. The piece reflects on different dance cultures, especially the Indian and contemporary South African.
Footprints of a Dancer is really celebrating our heritage, our Indian heritage as well as our African heritage. Being in South Africa, I think it's important that we as adults maintain our culture and heritage and also pass that on to our youth. So really we have classical, we have traditional, we have Bollywood, we have African, about 87 artists that are going to be on the platform. We have professional dancers as well as students that are still learning, but I think that the whole idea of putting them on the same platform is to get the kids motivated to reach levels that the professional dancers have reached.
South African composer Philip Miller's work is paying off. Miller has been nominated for an Emmy Award for Best Original Dramatic Score in a Film for his contribution to a film titled The Girl.
Why don't you give me a raise?
You didn't get a raise.
Miller's work will be up against documentary film Mia Maxima Culpa, Silence in the House of God, miniseries Parade End Part 5, Restless Part 2, and World Without End, as well as television film Ring of Fire.
You know, the only reason you...
The Girl stars Sienna Miller, Imelda Staunton, and Toby Jones. It is about the turbulent relationship between filmmaker Alfred Hitchcock and actress Tippi Hedren, and has received 6 nominations for this year's Emmys. The Cape Townian has composed soundtracks for numerous productions, including the Bang Bang Club, and recently collaborated with internationally renowned artist William Kentridge on his 5-screen multimedia installation, The Refusal of Time in London. A chocolate festival is all about indulging and taking care of your passion for chocolate, but it can also show you how good chocolate is for you. The Benmore Gardens in Sandton is the place to be from Tuesday the 10th to Friday the 13th of September for all chocoholics.
We have everybody to do with chocolate. We haven't distracted with any other product other than chocolate. We have chocolate cake, chocolate fountains, biltong with chocolate, olives with chocolate. All our chocolate is done by hand, and it is made by the person standing behind their counter. And that is what makes it so unique and so amazing.
Fine and raw chocolate is artisan handmade from organic, fair trade, raw ingredients. So it's actually very different to a normal chocolate. It's raw chocolate. It has a vitality of the ingredients that is full of goodness and deliciousness and creaminess.
Archival Impulse. The That's the title of Ayanda V. Jackson's collection, which is currently on display at Gallery Momo in Parktown. Also on exhibition is Lififi Tladi's collection titled Linzwe, which opened at the Women's Jail at the Constitution Hill on Thursday.
It has been a continuation of other exhibitions dedicated to the senses. I talk about senses because senses are very important for artists. And an artist who is not conscious of their senses and develop them usually becomes limited, because as an artist you express what you perceive. So it is very important to develop your ear so you can interpret it in color.
Are you a fanatic of American soul music and hip-hop? Then prepare to be blown away in the next 2 months. Two-time Grammy Award-winning soul sensation Maxwell and one of the hottest rappers at the moment, Kendrick Lamar, are set to tour South Africa's major cities.
The Pretty Wings star will perform 2 concerts, one at the Cape Town's Grand West and the other at the Coca-Cola Dome in Johannesburg. Reports say Maxwell will sing a mix of his earlier classic songs and recent numbers from the first of the Black Summer's Night trilogy of albums. Meanwhile, self-professed King of New York, Hampton-born rapper Kendrick Lamar will embark on a 3-city tour in January. The 26-year-old, who was recently crowned the hottest MC in the game by hip-hop authority MTV, will tour the country as part of the Milia Boomtown event.
From Garden World out in Melder's Drift, that's all the art news we have for you today. If this bulletin had your green fingers itchy, maybe you should visit www.gardenworld.co.za. You can also keep in touch with us and let us know what's on your mind. Our new email address is theartbulletin@sabc.co.za. Or else you can like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. Until next weekend, it's a goodbye from us.